We come to this position, lying down on our foam roller, allowing our shoulders to relax down, our heart to open, feeling the front of our ribs, our belly open. Rehearsing a little bit of what we do throughout the day. And our tailbone soften down, feeling the curve in our low back. Continue to open and move into a neutral position. You have your hips supported on the foam roller as well. Notice how that feels to the hips. Balance, level, open, a place where we can move from success into our awareness move into our breath. And out through our nose, to our belly. Keep that relaxed state through the front of our body, through our hips, the alignment of our spine. Bringing our hands up to the ceiling. Maybe stacking our hands over our shoulders. Just take a moment to check in with how this feels. Muscles between our shoulder blades and our spine. Targeting a variety of muscles, but we'll just refer to this area as the rhomboids today. Feeling our arms rest heavy, our fingers pointing up. So that we could target the rhomboid area. And our shoulder blades wrap around our foam roller. Keeping our hands stacked over our elbows, elbows over our shoulders, and keeping our arms straight. We're going to draw our arms back in this nice and slow. Our time as we move, massaging through the rhomboids, the upper part of our rhomboids, also getting into the traps. Moving back until we find a place that our range of motion ends. Staying out of pain, honoring that range of motion within our shoulders. And on our exhale, we're going to slowly move up. We move slow so that we can stay stable and strong through our joints, instead of quickly moving through them, losing those opportunities to gain strength in every angle of those joints.
Same tide that drew me closer, pushed me far away.
Our hands get back over the top of our shoulders. We're going to make sure those shoulder blades are wrapped around our foam roller. We're going to draw our arms out wide. Again, nice slow pace. Maybe feeling the shoulder blades track onto our foam roller. So maybe feeling them push into the foam roller. We draw our arms out wide. In our time, moving our arms out, building stability through each and every angle of our shoulders. Being mindful of our movement. When we get to our end range of motion, just take a moment to pause. Acknowledging the stretch that we're creating across the front of our chest.
Wish that I could build a bridge across the sea, and the secrets of the moonlight would carry me where the sun meets the water and the sky breaks free. That's where I'll be. Same sign that drew me close.
On our next exhale, engage the muscles of our chest. Feel them hug in as we lift our arms up nice and slow.
Never find again. I was on the outside. I was waiting for the right. I fought my way through a sea of violence, but you never heard me scream in silence.
Embrace any shaking that you find along the way, noticing that you're building stability through each of those components, those angles of our joints. And then when we get our hands over our shoulders, I want you to extend your arms and keep your shoulders down. So just enough to where you can straighten your arms and your elbows armpits. Turn our palms forward. Turn our arms back behind us, nice and slow. Releasing tension through our rhomboids, our traps, while we build strength and range of motion in our shoulders. Keeping the front of our ribs down. Taking our time with our movement. Checking in with our breath. Slowly bringing our hands back up, getting our ribs hugged down. Moving with the stability of our core. Stability of our shoulders. Keeping our arms straight. Our hands make it over the top of our shoulders, palms face each other. Slowly draw our arms out. This time we're not going to hold at the bottom. We're just going to go down to our end range of motion and then come back. taking our time. And slowly coming back up. So we're keeping the engagement of our shoulders. All of the connective tissue that supports our shoulders. And then we're going to take our palms facing forward when they get to the top. Make sure our arms are straight. And then this time we're going to go back at a 45-degree angle. So turn your hands in slightly so that your palms face the midline of your body. And then we're going back at a 45. Notice that this is going to be a different movement in your shoulders. So make sure you honor that. We're targeting the upper pecs here. And a stretch through the front of our chest, a little bit higher up. Honoring our range of motion, making sure we're not pushing beyond that. And then slowly come back up. Then turn our palms forward when we get to the top. Arms are going to come back behind us. Nice and slow. We're going to move through those same ranges of motion one more time. No pain, no pushing beyond where our joints want to go comfortably. Keep the front of our ribs hugged down, not letting them rise up as our arms go down. Slowly come back up after you've done your full range of motion. Our hands get over the top of our shoulders, palms face each other, arms come out wide, nice and slow. Just moving to our end range of motion, and you're back up. Bringing our palms in at a 45-degree angle. We're taking our arms back at that 45-degree angle. Slow. Our time. And range of motion, then come right up. Our elbows come down to the floor. Our arms relax down. We're going to roll to one side, coming off our foam roller. Release it off to the side. Moment to allow our spine to relax to a fairly neutral position. And drawing our knees into our chest, to the mat. Rock side to side. Getting our belly engaged, letting our head, our shoulders move with this rocking motion. Come back to center. Let's extend our right leg forward. Lower it all the way down, tap. Come back up, switch sides. Straightening your leg, lowering it all the way down, tap. Lift back up, switch legs. Slowly lower down, tap. Come back up. Switch sides, lower down, tap. Lift back up, switch legs, lower down, tap, come back up, and switch legs, lower down, come up. Draw both knees into our chest. We're gonna rock forward and back, come up to a seated position. From our seated position, rise up tall through our spine. Hinge forward from our hips. Take our hands down to the floor. We're opening up our hips. Walk our hands forward as it feels good for us. Slowly come up. Switch the cross of our legs. Rising up tall through our spine, hinge forward from our hips. Hands come down to the floor, just to a place that feels good for your spine, your hips, back of your hips. Walking our hands forward if it feels good, lowering down. Slowly come back up. Shoulders over our hips. Let's take our feet wide. And then from this wide position, we're going to lower our knees over to one side. And then come back up. Draw our knees over to the other side. Come back up. And switch. Rocking our knees side to side. And all the way down. Just find movement through our hips. And it's okay if you find that you're moving forward. Good, and come back up. We're going to come to a standing position. If you have a chair or a foam roller or anything that you can hold on to for stability, I'm going to invite you to bring that with you. You're going to place it on your right side. So if you already have a wall or anything that's nearby you on the right side, feel free to use that. So it doesn't have to be anything complicated or challenging, just something that you can hold on to. And it doesn't have to be a firm grip. Many of us won't even need the stability device, but we're going to use it anyway. So from here, find your feet in a comfortable position for you. So toes pointing forward, feet about hip width distance apart. And then I want you to lift all of your toes up off the mat. And then slowly lower all your toes down as if you're pushing your toes through the mud. And then lifting your toes up as if you're still moving your toes through mud. So we're not quickly bringing them up and quickly putting them down. Imagine that like the air around us got really dense and we're trying to push through that dense air. Slowly lower your toes down. And then keep moving like you're moving through mud or moving through dense air. Lift your toes up. And then lower your toes down nice and slow. So again, we're working through that full range of motion of our toes, lifting them up, lower them down one more time. Now lifting just our big toes. Keep the rest of our toes on the mat. Lower our big toes down, lift all the rest of our toes. Every toe except for your big toe. We're just going to refer to those as your little toes. Lower your little toes down, lift your big toes. Keep your knees soft. Lower your big toes, lift your little toes. Try not to roll your feet in, so keep your feet level, just trying to lift your toes. That's your body's way of finding the easy way out. Lower your toes down, lift your big toes one more time. And lower your big toes down, lift your little toes. And again, we're trying to keep the big toes down on the ground, lift the little toes, keep the arches of your feet. So maybe try to push out through the outside of your feet. It'll make it a little bit harder. Let's see if you can do it. Lower your little toes down. Now you're gonna lift all your toes again. Find that balance and stability. And push just your big toes down to the ground. Lift your big toes back up. Push your little toes down to the ground. Doesn't mean they're all gonna get there, you're just going that direction. Lift your little toes, push your big toes down. We're still pushing through mud, still pushing for that dense air. Lift your big toes, push your little toes down. And we're only moving in a range of motion that's comfortable for us. No pain, no discomfort. If you're dealing with bunions, they might feel a little bit inflamed. Back off that movement. Lift your little toes back up. Push your big toes down one more time. Lift your big toes back up. Push your little toes down one more time. And lower your big toes and relax. From here, release your device off to the side that you're using for balance, but don't put it too far away because you're going to come back to it. From here, on our next inhale, sweep our hands up. Exhale, fold, hinging from our hips. Inhale, walk both feet back, plank. Shift your heels back, then shift your weight forward. Shift your heels back, and shift your weight forward. Shift your heels back, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a moment to notice your downward facing dog. Notice how it feels. Inhale, come forward plank. Lower all the way down to our belly. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of your mat. And fold. Letting our upper body hang. Let our head go. Taking the time to relax and soften. On our next inhale, rise all the way up. Strong legs. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back. Draw our heels back. Shift our weight forward. Draw our heels back. Shift our weight forward. One more time. Shift back. Then lift our hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat. And fold. Again, let it go. Notice how we feel through our hips. And then rise all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Grab a hold of our balancing tool. We're going to bring it back to our practice. or whatever you're using today. And then we're going to take it and place it on our right side. Keep a soft bend in your right knee. Shift all your weight onto your right leg and keep your hips balanced. From here, lift your left knee, draw it out in front of you and up. Slowly pushing through that dense air, pushing through mud. Any way you recognize, lower your foot down, tap the floor, and slowly lift back up. Lowering down nice and slow. And lift up, and we're going to hold. There are range of motion. From here, we're going to move through internal and external rotation of our hip. Dive your left knee in across the midline of your body, then sweep your foot out, bring your knee out. So now you're in external rotation. Bring your knee out to the side, moving deeper into that external rotation. Then rotate your knee forward, heel back. Sweep your left knee back behind you, and then draw it back in underneath you. You're going to sweep it across the midline of your body, and then kick your knee out, heel up, and rotate out to the side. Kick your heel back, knee forward, sweep your knee back. Bring it back underneath you. Kick it across your body, twist your knee, then your foot. Kick it out to the side. Kick your heel back, knee forward, sweep your knee back. So you're making nice big circles with your knee. Now once you get your knee underneath you, I want you to hold. We're going to reverse that direction. So kick your knee back, kick your foot behind you, bring your knee out to the side, then kick your foot forward, bring it across your body, then bring your knee across your body and bring it back down. Push your knee back, sweep your knee out, so you're moving into external rotation. Bring your knee out to the side, keep lifting your foot. You're staying in that external rotation, and then internal rotation, bringing the knee across your body, back underneath you. One more time, kick it back, rotate your leg, bring it out to the side, keep kicking your foot up, across your body, and then bring your knee across your body into internal rotation, and back underneath you, and release. So both hips got to work out on that one. So the right hip was stabilizing, and your left hip was moving through mobility. We have another side. So if you want, you can move your foam roller to your other side or wherever you're using for balance. Draw your right knee out in front of you, lift it up. Just moving within your full range of motion. Slowly bring it down like you're pushing through mud. So there's effort that would be required to push through that mud. Same effort as moving into our hip. Lifting our knee up nice and slow. Slowly bring it back down. Tap the floor. Slowly lift back up. Hold. Bring your right knee across the midline of your body. Kick your foot out. Draw your knee out to the side. Keeping your hips stable, kick your foot back, roll your knee in, sweep your knee back behind you, and then back underneath you. Again, dive across the midline of your body. Take your knee out, heel up. Rotate your leg out. Kick your heel back, knee forward. Keep sweeping that knee back. So imagine you're drawing from your knee. Bring it back. Knee points over to the other side. Kick the heel up, take your knee out. All the way out your range of motion, and kick your heel back. And keep sweeping the knee back. One more time. Cross the midline of your body. Heel up, knee out. Keep rotating that knee out, but don't take your hip width. Kick your heel back, knee back. Bring it underneath you. Hold. We're going backwards. Knee back. Foot sweeps back behind your standing leg as your knee comes out to the side. Keep lifting that foot up, letting that leg move into rotation. Cross the body, then let your foot sweep down. Knee moves in, back underneath you. Back behind you. Knee out. Heel up. Cross the midline of your body. Sweep your foot down, knee in. One more time. Kick it back. Knee out. Foot up. Cross the midline. Knee in. Foot down. Bring it underneath you and release. Good job. Take your foam roller or whatever dice you're using. Release it out to the side. Step forward. Bring your mouth. Inhale. Scoop up. Exhale, fold. Take a moment to notice how you feel in your hips. Inhale, walk back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Notice how you feel in your hips. Is there a little more mobility? A little bit more flexibility? Inhale, come forward. Lower all the way down to your belly. Cobra, opening up your back. Lower down. Hug your belly in. Press up and back. Downward facing down. Notice how you're moving through your hips. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lower our knees down to the mat. Keep your toes curled under. Sink your hips back. How does this feel through our toes? Slowly come up. And then sink our hips back again, keeping our heels pointed up to the ceiling. And come up. And sink our hips back. And come up. Crawl forward, releasing the tops of our feet. Grab a seat. And then from here, we're going to grab a hold of a block. And our therapy balls. We're going to release the balls out from the back, and we're going to place them underneath our shoulders as we come lying down on our backs. We're going to move into bridge pose using both of these fists. So let's start on our back. Just make sure you have the balls available. Bending our knees, make sure your block is available. Then you're going to place the balls underneath your traps. Remembering when you reach your hands up and then bend your elbows, and then the balls go underneath the soft tissue of your traps. And you should have about half to a third of the balls sticking out from the top of your shoulders. Then let your arms come out. And I want you to get really heavy through your shoulders. Make sure you're not on any bone. The tiniest adjustment can make the biggest difference in this particular pose. Close your eyes. Your shoulders get really heavy. Noticing the muscles softening around the balls. Making adjustments you need. Slowly press your feet into the mat. Lift your hips. Notice how this feels. If this is too intense, hips go right back down. If this feels really good, grab a hold of your block. Slide it underneath your hips. Let your hips rest on the block. Start with a level one. A little more weight to the top of our shoulders. And make sure you're not on your spine or the spine of your scapula, shoulder blade. Feel your tailbone press down onto the block and then length across your belly. Bring our weight from the top of our shoulders. So to be comfortable. Feeling your breath. If it feels okay for you, bring your hands up to the ceiling, stacking your wrists over your shoulders, and your arms remain straight. Adding a little more weight to the therapy balls. And our breath long, slowly. Slowly release our arms back on the floor. Lift our hips up off the block, release the block out from underneath us. And our hips relax back down. Moving the balls out from underneath our shoulders. Hold on to it for a moment, but I want you to let your shoulders relax. And your spine return to a neutral position. Now we're going to slide the balls underneath our glutes. And this is just to the outer edges of our glutes. I don't want you to be on any bony structures at all. So let your knees come over to the right. Take the ball, place it underneath the soft tissue, they're the biggest area of our glute. And it can be out towards the hip a little bit more if that feels okay for you. Let your hip come back down. Let your knees come over to the left. Slide the ball underneath the right side and come back down. We're just holding here for a moment, letting our arms relax. And some weight come down onto the ball. And really what we're looking for is targeting right around the center of your glute. Walk your feet a little bit wider. Let your knees come in. You're moving into internal rotation. You want it to hold. Our knees back up. We're going to take our knees and roll them over to the right. So now we're moving through external rotation to the right leg, internal to the left. Lift our knees back up. Take them over to the left. Switch sides. We're just going to rock our knees side to side. lift our hips off the balls, release them one at a time. And then you're just gonna hold on to the balls again, one rest in your hand. Walk your feet back and hip width distance apart. We're gonna move through a little bit of mobility again through the hips, but nothing too intense. We're gonna lift our right foot up, cross it over our left thigh, push our right knee forward. And again, I want you to feel like you're pushing through really dense air or mud or anything that you can relate to that feels like you're adding pressure to your legs while you move into your hips. And if you're unfamiliar with how that feels, I want you to take your right hand, place it on your right thigh, push your leg into your hand, lift your foot back up, and then I want you to slide that movement onto your thigh, slowly pushing while you let your foot come back down. And that effort you're feeling in your hip, that's what we're looking for. Slide your hand down your leg, lift your foot back up, add a little bit of pressure with your hand, and then rotate your leg, sliding your hand in to the thigh, placing your ankle on your left thigh. Slowly push your leg forward, but not outside of your range of motion. It's comfortable. And then we're going to do that again. You're going to release the ball if this is distracting. Hand on your leg, lift it up, adding that resistance. Let your hand come to the top of your leg. Slowly keep that resistance while you push your foot back down. But one more time, lifting up. Slide your hand to the inside of your leg as you place your foot. And press, resisting with your leg. And then again, just moving through external rotation of our hip. Good, then let your hand relax down. Release both balls off to the side for a moment. We're going to do the other side. So I want you to imagine same effort with your left leg without your hips. Lifting your left leg, nice and slow. Cross, so you're moving into external rotation. Let your leg come forward, nice and slow. If you need that kinesthetic awareness, hand comes to your leg, draw your leg back up, lift your foot off, walk your hand down your leg as you slowly release your foot down. And come back up. Slide your hand to the inside of your leg as you move into external rotation. It's an equal pressure, leg in the hand, hand in the leg. And lift back up. And slowly lower down. And again, lifting, rotating. Within your range of motion, right hip stays down. Slowly come back up. Lower your leg down with intention. And relax when you get to lock. So now that you know what that feels, we're going to do that through internal rotation as well. So slowly walk your feet out. Lower your left leg down like you're trying to push through mud. Feel how your hip engages. Let your outside of your foot come off the floor as you press your knee down with intention. Slowly lift like you have all this pressure on your leg. You're pushing into your hip. Come all the way up. And then press your left knee back down, moving into internal rotation, keeping all of that resistance on your hip as if your hand was pressing. If you need to, if you can reach your leg, push it down. Resist that pressure. Slowly come back up, resisting the pressure of your hand. And one more time, pressing and resisting. And come back up. And we're going to move to the right side. Again, use your hand if you need to, but I want you to try first without your hand. Imagine you're pushing in through that dense air, mud, whatever you want to think of it as. Slowly dropping the knee in. Let the outside of your foot come up. And slowly lift up like you're pushing into the dense air. Feeling the resistance at your hip joint. Use your hand if you're not making that connection. Drop your right knee. Nice and slow. A little bit easier than the standing version that we just did, but still with awareness. Slowly come back up. And then from here, we're going to grab a hold of our therapy balls again. And then we're going to place them underneath our trunks. Extend our legs out. Palms face up. Spine Shavasana. Final relaxation. Neck fingers, toes, hands, feet, wrists, and hips. And then passing movement through our joints. And then your knees. And as the therapy balls out from underneath your shoulders. Take this off to the side. Roll over to your right side. You want it to pause. Now we press ourselves up. And our way back to a comfortable seat. Rising up from your spine. Noticing how we feel. Noticing how well we keep our alignment of our body. Noticing how our shoulders feel. Notice our tension. Our breath. Our hips. Our toes. Bring our hands together in front of our heart. Sealing in all that we found in this practice today of mobility, strength, letting go, letting awareness, letting go. Namaste. How do we feel?